Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and start our select board meeting for May 20th. I'd like to begin with the warrants. I'd like to make a motion that we accept payroll number 104 for $1,885.96. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
By the way,
Aye.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept accounts payable number 105 for $23,913.11. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And by the way, Jeff is here. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes for May 13th, 2024 select board meeting, and I will be abstaining because I was not here.
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you can sign it.
Okay.
Any citizens issues, since we have some citizens out here? All right, I just want to make one comment about, and I figure this is as good a place as any to put it. Jeff, you're out of town, so you don't know about this, but somebody has trashed Kim Lynch's her signs and is actually taken sign away. I don't know, it feels very uncomfortable for somebody to be running for office, and this is the kind of thing that they're doing. Almost makes you not want to run or worry about running. So the sign up at the top of the island is, looks like they took a hammer or something to it and broke a big chunk out of it. And the one on the corner of Doggett Road there, that sign is completely gone. I don't know if there are other signs gone as well. She hadn't put up many signs yet, but I just want to publicly say that it doesn't feel very comfortable. You know, we barely can get anybody to run for office, and then this is how people are treated. Kim is not here right now. She should be coming home today. She's been out of town, so she hasn't even seen it. And I don't know how she will react, but I know I wouldn't feel very comfortable if I know that somebody was that hostile already toward me.
Really sad.
Yeah, so I just, but I want to make a public statement about that, that it feels very uncomfortable.
I don't know if it's
Jim.
directed in any certain direction, but I told you last week about the signs disappearing.
Yeah,
Are they related? I don't know. Either way, it's not right.
yeah, so signs are disappearing, so, and the town has to pay for replacing those signs because they are needed for emergencies and whatnot.
I don't know if there's any relation there
Yeah.
or not, but.
Yeah, it could just be-
Something I want to bring to the
Yep.
forefront. that
Yeah.
I want people to be vigilant and keep an eye out, and because it's not right, and it's stealing, it's vandalism, and it's unnecessary.
Yep, and this happened last night because I went by there around 7:30 when we came home,
This
and
morning was when I noticed that.
yeah, so it happened overnight.
Yeah.
So somebody was out last night, and you know, it just, I just want to publicly acknowledge it. So, and I'm not sure what else to do, whether, you know, I've thought about, do we post it on Facebook or say something on Facebook, but
I think it speaks for itself.
Yep, I think people see that. And all right, so next on our agenda is actually not a committee, sort of a committee, but anyway, the volunteer fire department. And I'd ask you to come to share more details about some of the
budget.
funding that
So-
you're looking for.
So I kind of made a quick breakdown of what we had been spending. To kind of run down through it, it's like our expenses, annual testing, we do ladder testing, $250, hose testing, $2,300, pump testing, $1,800 for 2 vehicles, annual servicing for 2 vehicles, $1,700, fire extinguisher, annual servicing, $750, furnace, $600, compressor servicing, $900, SCBA flow test, $500. That's a total of $8,800.
That's every year?
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. Our utilities, CMP, $2,450, heating oil, $4,450, cable phone, $1,800, Vehicle fuel, 1,600, so that's 10,300. Business expenses, annual health screenings, $1,200. Compliance servicing, and what that is I contract with Lynn Martin, who does fire service compliance. She keeps in touch and track of, all the BLS and all the new rules and stuff. And provides a manual that has a lot of, operating procedures and guidelines. That's $1,300 a year. I just had with working with her, I just did a BLS audit, today. It's instead of having the enforcement show up and say, haha, we're gonna write you up for fines, you can do a courtesy call where they'll work with you.
Mhm.
We pretty well knocked it out of the park. There's a couple little things that, you can tweak this, and guidelines going forward. She's been working with me the past 2 years, trying to get me to join the SHAPE program, which is a preferred, I think it would even mean that we'd get lower insurance rates.
Oh, wow, that would be good.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
But it also has a lot of benefits that you work with BLS, that if they don't come and inspect you unless there's need to, from a complaint, injuries or something like that.
So they trust that you're. Yeah.
Exactly, you prove that you're, ahead of the game, and it's like, okay, we don't need to worry about you, so. After today's visit, that looked very well, so I think we're gonna go ahead and do the SHAPE program.
So what's BLS?
Yeah.
Bureau of Labor Services, they are the state equivalent of OSHA.
Okay, yep.
So again, that $1,300 for that to me is well spent. Tax preps, $450. I'm part of the Nonprofits of Maine, that's $100, $150 membership. I'm part of a couple different firefighter groups, that's $400, and about $800 in office supplies. So it's $4,300 a year for business expenses, postage, things like that. Fire equipment, I bought boots this year, $4,000.
Oh, I saw the bill the other day.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were cheap.
Wow.
How long did those last?
Hopefully a long time, but 10 years, maybe 5-10 years.
One size fits all, I hope.
Of course not. But
No.
most of our guys are size 11. It's like out of 11 pair, 8 or 9 of them were size 11, so.
Don't be a woman who's got small feet
Yeah.
trying to,
We'll pay a lot of extra socks.
yeah.
I bought four SCBA packs from Jefferson, they were used for $6,000.
What packs?
SCBA breathing tanks. I also bought 8 bottles with them. Even though they used, to have gone out and bought them, the packs alone are probably $3,000 a piece, and the bottles are $1,000 a piece, so, yeah. So it was definitely worth that, because they had upgraded from a grant, so they said, hey, we've got bottles and packs left over. I said, yeah, I'll take them. And radios, we spent $1,400 this year on radios. Last year, I think we spent $6,000 on radios. An interior radio cost over $1,000 nowadays. A pager is $600, which is, between $400 to $600, it's criminal.
How often do you have to replace them? Because it seems like a radio, you shouldn't have to replace that often.
Most of ours are starting to get old. Our interior ones have been in our department longer than I have, and I've been, 10 years, I think we said. So most of them are, and they're starting to get outdated. We've had a couple fail. We've scavenged parts. Jason's done a great job of looking at their TYT brands. They cost, I think, $200 a piece. They're not interior attack, but they are serviceable for the bulk of the members. So we've been augmenting with those kind of radios for normal wear and tear, normal duty. But I have a feeling that this coming year, we're probably gonna have to buy some more interiors. So let's see.
So I think that was like.
Yeah, so that was 11,400. So, and then one of the things we've spent this year we'll have spent about 24,000 on stipends. And that's for, 11 members. So one of the things, I break that down into, we do 13 trainings a month, a quarter. Averages 3 hours apiece, so that's about 40 hours a quarter in training. And based on last year's estimates, we had 140 calls, so that averages about 35 a quarter. And I was planning, and they're about an hour apiece, sometimes more, sometimes less, but, you know, round numbers I like, so I called it an hour piece. So in a given quarter, we could be spending 80 hours, you know, around 80 hours. If you take that $400 a quarter, divide that by 75, 80 hours, that's coming out to $5 or $6 an hour. So one of my goals this coming year is to increase our stipends.
Right, and that's one of our major
Right.
questions is because we know that you wanted to increase it 30,000 and so
Yes.
trying to figure out where that 30,000,
Increase, yeah.
right, where's that
So
going?
I anticipate about half of it. We're already at 24,000. I figured if we're going, maybe another 15,000, maybe possibly 20,000 in stipends. One of the things I do right now is it's pretty much a flat rate. I don't keep track of the number of calls or the number of trainings. Obviously, if you haven't been attending any trainings or calls, I reduce the rate, but I haven't been for the most part. Going forward, it's gonna be more incentive based. There'll be, part of it will be based on being a member. Part of it's gonna be based on the number of calls, and part of it is based on the number of trainings. So it's not gonna be a 1-for-1, but, you know, if you make at least half the trainings, you know, without due cause. Sometimes I've had people that have been on second shift, or certainly if people have been in training or different things, I don't count that against them. But it's just one of those things where, hey, I just haven't been showing up. Well, you need to be showing up
Mhm.
to be involved. So, and same with calls. The object of being on the fire department is that you respond to the calls,
Mhm.
so that it doesn't fall on just a handful of us.
Right, same people over and over again.
Exactly,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's to kind of incentivize that.
By the way, your list that you're reading from, I'm hoping you'll let us make a copy.
Yes, yes, I was gonna say, I probably should have copied that first.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, but yeah, we'll make a copy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
go
you're
ahead.
increasing 30 over what you asked for last year.
Yes,
So you're saying about half of that is gonna be the stipends, and then the
yes.
other half is just
it is,
all, everything else.
yeah, it's
That
just
is
these
going
sunk
up.
costs.
Yeah,
You know, I've been watching over the years, our costs go up and up. Next year, radios, I think we're gonna have to spend a couple $1,000s on radios. Turnout gear, probably gonna have to, I wanna be in this every year, kind of replacing one or two
right,
sets of
rather
turnout
than,
gear.
yes, rather than,
And, cause we do that with SCBA models, we have this kind of
Mhm,
phased approach.
right,
And training, I'm hoping this summer, fall, get 2 to 4 people in EMS training, which ballpark is $1,000 a piece.
Right, I remember that from before, yeah.
That would be awesome,
That
because
would
I've
be-
got 4
yeah.
right now, and if I can make 6 or 8, you know, it's just gonna kind of, we need permissions from our, you know, from our wives usually. So, I've already done it, but it's the, you know, it's, I had a couple guys that just gone through fire academy, you know, and it's
Mhm.
tough, you know, because it's literally 6 months long of
Right,
you know,
right,
2 nights a week plus weekends.
Wow.
Mhm.
And it's-
Saturday is.
Yeah, from
Treacherous.
8 o'clock to 6 PM, yeah, it's an all-day thing. And that doesn't include all the homework and other studying you have to do in between, so
yeah, it's a lot.
it
It's a
really
lot.
is.
it's like being a professional when you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
getting paid for
exactly,
doing
it's
that, you're a
just-
volunteer, yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
one of the other things, it's been a big talk in the fire service the past few months. OSHA is doing a major revision to their rules. They've issued a 600-page,
Manual or
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that they
who
want
reads
to do.
these?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
and it's
really.
all written in lawyerese.
Yes, that you can't understand, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Um,
Small print,
Yeah,
Ugh.
and pretty much every volunteer department is saying this is going to devastate us. Some of the highlights are, if a vehicle is over 20 years old, it needs to be replaced. 3 of my vehicles are 20 years old.
And a vehicle costs millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
dollars. Yes.
our engine, which is now 12 years old, costs $240,000. It would probably be 450 now, for the exact same truck. There is a 2 to 3 year waiting period, and costs are going up
Mhm.
10% per year. The BLS guy is on the department in Monmouth. He said they're just putting in an order and they're looking at delivery in 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and now if all of a sudden every fire department needs to go out and get new vehicles,
That way.
we don't even know what's gonna happen.
You know, they can say you have to do that, but towns can't afford that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing. It's not like just because it's 10 years old, we're just gonna
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah,
It
it's,
just doesn't work that way.
yeah, they want every department to have 2 sets of turnout gear minimum. Access to showers from the outside. Turnout gear needs to be stored separate. I don't know if ours counts because it's down in the bays and not in the living space, and technically, we're not a full-time, so we don't have a living space. So that's up in the air. What are some of the other gems?
There was a lot of like the training too.
Oh, the training,
Yeah,
yeah, we have to,
required training.
yeah, we have to document and have certified training for pretty much everything we do. Right now, we have a physician's assistant come in, for annual screenings, cost $100. He reviews your health, does quick checks, going forward, it would have to be through a physician,
Yeah.
with a full pulmonary EKG.
Oh, And this is for volunteer
Oh,
fire
yeah,
department?
yeah, because everybody, one size fits all. If you get exposed to whatever, however many fires or chemical events they have during a year, you are now going to have a physician examine you with blood screenings, MRIs, and, you know, the
And
cost
who
of
is
that.
this protecting?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all under the guise of safety. This is the first major OSHA change since the 80s,
Mm.
so they've kind of
Oh,
suddenly,
let's just wait 40 years and
Yeah,
then do it
and-
all at one
yeah,
time.
and they
Real
said,
smart.
yep, they're looking at a 2 year implementation. You have to have all these changes done in 2 years.
Stacy, I think you and I had talked one day about the idea of, because of all this that's happening, because I know you were talking about that, about the possibility down the line, I know it wouldn't happen
Yeah.
anytime really soon, but about sort of collaborating with other towns, because
Yeah.
this is gonna be impossible for towns to
Right.
deal with if all these requirements. Is that something that you've talked much at all?
Some of the other departments, as it gets kicked around, there'd be pluses and minuses to it.
Mhm.
You know, cause, you know, we'd envision, okay, maybe Waldeboro becomes Wiscasset becomes a hub.
Mhm.
But how many areas are they gonna be supporting? Are they gonna be, you know, Wiscasset, Westport, Alna, Edgecombe? You know, how many people they're gonna have, so how is that gonna get paid?
Mhm.
Cause obviously they'd have to have full-time people.
Right.
So, you know, it almost sounds like school regionalization. Everybody has to kick in.
Yeah, like the transfer station or whatever, we
Yeah.
all pay in
Yeah.
a certain amount based on the
Yeah.
size of the town. Yeah.
And hopefully Alma doesn't have something the same time you have, cause all the
Mhm.
trucks went that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Do
Yeah.
other places do that other than, no,
no,
they haven't yet.
no, they haven't yet.
Yeah, may force
It
it.
may force, yeah, and that goes into some huge uncharted territories.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, did you have some questions for Stacy?
Well, I think I remember one of the questions was going to be the implications of the staff, the number of people who would be covered then by the town for workman's comp. So that was one of the questions that Ashley would need to have to prepare the warrant article for the insurance for the fire department.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I gave her some numbers, so I thought she was all set. I haven't heard anything that she needs more information.
She may be okay with that.
Yeah.
What we were looking for is the breakdown with the, like the 30,000 extra that you want. And you had said sort of, a lot of it's gonna be staff. Well, now you're saying half of it is staff and now you've got the radios and some other
Yeah.
things. Because I know that's something that the town's gonna be looking at. And we figured if you did it for us, you're
Yeah.
ready then for the town meeting.
Yeah,
So, yeah, 'cause that was a question that we had, Jeff, was just, also just how that $30,000 was gonna break down. How is it gonna be used? So, other questions?
Do you have any sense of the size of the volunteer group that you would love to have as opposed to what you do have?
I've always said I would never have too many people. Even if I had 50 people, that'd be awesome, because then you could consider, hey, we've got coverages. It's like, this group would be Mondays, this group is Tuesday. That way, you're not concerned with, hey, you know, I was going away, you know, for a concert.
Yeah,
out to
I know,
dinner, you know.
I know. The only reason I'm asking is because sort of an open-ended number then,
Yeah,
right? If you, because
Right.
they need training, they need equipment, they
Yeah,
need, you know,
Oh, yeah.
so,
And every time
I
you
was
add more,
just-
then it adds more to your budget though,
right,
too.
Right.
yeah, because you need
Right.
more equipment to
Right.
outfit them.
right,
Yeah,
It could be one of those things where then you start getting into, okay, are you a support person? Okay, maybe
Yeah.
you don't need turnout gear, you know, you can get away with some
Okay.
basic equipment
yeah,
and a basic radio.
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
Other thoughts, questions for Stacy, since we asked him to come here tonight? I do wanna make
I
a
know it's
copy of
in
that.
there,
Yeah, you know how to make it, right?
but we'll see.
If you could make 3 for us, then, we'll just put it in each of our boxes, and that way we'll have it. So he's already written the warrant articles, and we're not going over the warrant items per se right now. So basically what we wanted tonight was just to get a better
Little
sense of,
idea.
Because if we say the board, select board, supports this, we have to know, you know, kind of more exactly how the
Yeah.
money's breaking out, and then Stacy always does such a good job of presenting the
Yes.
information at the town meeting, so
Yes.
that's very helpful, and everybody respects him a lot, I think, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
So do we want to, I don't have his warrant item handy here. So I feel like we really should wait on that until, the next week or so and go over, as we go over a lot of the other warrant items and,
Yeah.
one at a time. So, Stacy, anything more to add?
You'll do your spiel again, right?
Sure.
Okay.
That's always helpful.
Thank you. And I can take care of Jeff's. Or did you already?
Yeah.
Oh, yep, yep. Jeff, I'll put this in your box so you'll have it.
So if you.
Great, thank you.
Questions, if you wanna read through that.
Yep.
just,
Oh, it's reading the writing. Oh,
Stacy, Forest Ranger was down here Sunday,
Oh,
a friend of mine was having a burn.
yeah, he's broken it down, by expenses, 8,800, fire equipment, 11,000, stipends, 61,000. And he does have the stipends broken down, which is one of our concerns. Stipends are 24,000, tests, 8,800, utilities, business expenses. Oh, it's not just stipends, but anyway, he's got that down for 61,000, so, he's got it broken down pretty detailed,
Yeah.
which is what we
I
wanted.
ended up, what do you
So-
have here, it's like
I think
96.
that's where, well.
Yeah.
When you add-
He rounded, he said
Yeah.
rounded some things up.
Okay,
So we'll look at that when we get ready
This
to.
over here,
deal
this,
with warrant
this,
items.
under stipends, that's the summary.
I know, I was looking at
Yeah.
stipends and thinking it was just stipends, and then I kept reading and it's like, that's a different category, that's
Yeah,
What
Yeah, because
category
over
would you
here
put?
were kind of the breakdowns by area.
Yep.
And then I kind of summed them up. And like on the bottom, building maintenance, I don't really, didn't really put a number because that's kind of an ad hoc thing.
Mm-hmm.
As just things need to get done.
Ah, okay, so this is all of these,
So this 61 is all of this added up?
Yes.
Yes,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So where do you get the 90,000?
she did not me. I think she added some of these twice.
No, yeah,
Yeah, she,
no, but you,
No, but
you
you're
went from
asking for
69
oh, yes,
to 90.
yes.
So, but if this says 61, what's
Right, so
missing?
that's what we were. So
Uh-huh.
I'm anticipating growth and I'm anticipating stipends going from 24 to, 36,
Okay.
and plus, on the bottom, like next year, radios, turnout gear, training.
So that's your
Yeah.
fire equipment.
Yeah,
So you expect the fire equipment to go up to
yeah.
15,000, 20,000?
Yep.
What?
It's kind of how much money I have is how much I'll spend. But I mean, part of that, because I have a lot of what I call sunk costs. All these things are stuff I pretty much have to spend anyways.
Mhm.
So I kind of gauge, okay, my oil is running a little hot, so it means I got a little less, so then it's like, all right, do I buy 4 radios or do I buy 2 sets of turnout gear, kind of?
Yeah.
So,
So the more money you have, the more that you can spend
right,
realistically.
right,
And the question is, what will the town accept and say, okay, based on
yeah.
all these other expenses, this is what we're
Right.
willing to do today.
Cause like one of the things I wanna do is get a set of electric, there's battery operated, extrication tools as opposed to the hydraulics, but those are 12 to 15,000. So, yeah,
Wow.
so that's in the wish list pile.
Yep, yep.
Try to get a grant or something like that, so.
This is sort of like Jim, who's got his wish list, and who says, if we're gonna fix all the roads, we need X million
Yep.
dollars. But this is what we're gonna do based on what we can do, and gonna present it to the town, and the town says, yeah, we can do this and this, but not this, so, which is why we wanted the breakdown,
Right.
because it's clear right now, your amount is 61,000, but
Yeah.
you want to up to the salary or the stipends, and you'd like more equipment, better equipment, new
Right.
equipment.
Right.
Yep,
And it's kind of one of those things where, I could spend a lot of money, there's a lot of toys out there.
mhm,
Just trying to be reasonable, what do I need? Right now, I've got actually 2 sets, both are used, actually, both of them were donated by the departments.
wow.
So yeah, it's like scored on that,
Mhm,
but I also look at what's the need,
mhm,
we haven't used them, and I'm glad for that,
right,
but it's one of those things where we could.
the thing is, you might need it only once to save a life, and,
And it's more than paid for.
right,
But also I had to put in kind of contingency. If this OSHA stuff goes through,
mhm,
I don't know all the ramifications. Just the annual screenings alone are probably gonna be twice the cost,
mhm.
I might have to go out. Right now, turnout gear doesn't expire. They're talking about having turnout gear expire in 10 years. All of our gear, well, not all of it, at least half of it's 10 years old. So our SCBA packs, the original set that we had, couldn't tell you how old they are. So we don't know if they're gonna change that. We have older air masks. So.
And that's the thing I was gonna say, one size doesn't fit all. We don't
Yeah.
see, like, why would you have to replace turnout gear if you don't see as many fires as other
Right,
ones?
Right.
Right,
or any
right.
of that stuff, it's not a one size
Right.
thing.
No,
That's why
it shouldn't be,
we're trying to get with OSHA, there is a public comment section. And so far, only 1,000 people have responded. I actually responded and
Good.
saying, we can't be compared to New York Fire.
right, yes,
And that's what they wanna do.
yeah,
Or
It's-
top some,
Yeah,
or one.
yeah,
or
Yeah.
even towns around here, yeah,
I said, we have 130 calls a year. Most of them are non-fire.
Mhm.
There's trees, but I mean, we're not subjected to the same things that big departments are.
Right.
And they shouldn't be just lumping everybody, because it's all being done under the umbrella of safety, and that's, oh, you can't, we're trying to prevent firefighter deaths, and, it's like, well, if you demolish all these volunteer departments, how are you gonna make it safe for the populace?
Right.
Because now there's no department, so who's gonna respond now? What have you done?
Didn't you, I think it was you that I was talking to about the idea that like Wiscasset responds to fire. They're a fire department, but you guys respond to everything.
Everything.
It's not just fires, but
Right.
if somebody's sick, if somebody had a heart attack.
Car versus deer, heart attack, I mean,
Yeah.
and anything, we've
Yeah.
been car versus raccoon one time. The car got hurt and the raccoon ran away.
Well, I'd rather that.
I know,
Yeah.
well, didn't I hear about that at the fire chief's meeting? What do you got going on down there? I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, because
but,
this is a
yeah.
small town and this
Yeah.
is what we do here.
Even on this fire only, they don't respond to EMS calls, and a lot of departments won't respond to car versus deer.
Wow. We have,
Unless it's got injury or some kind
if
of,
the car starts fire.
right,
Yeah.
right, if
Wow.
their fluid's leaking or something.
Yeah.
We go to everything every time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that'll be hard to, hopefully OSHA won't, it's like some of the laws that we pass and then we realize, oh, they don't really work. But yet everybody's scrambling like crazy.
Question, your oil is like
Yes.
a lot.
Yep.
And is that just the furnace?
Yep.
The area,
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
It's a big hollow building.
Has the
Yeah.
Nest, the smart thing, so it's
yeah,
not
we
like
keep it
they,
at 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know we
How
started
old is
having,
that unit, do you know?
the furnace,
Yeah.
original issue. The first two bays were built 1955, the middle bay was 1972, and the last two bays was 1992.
so you think a grant for.
Well, that's
while you're
what I'm
looking at-
wondering.
We
What do you
have-
think about some kind of a,
Cause she's looking at
Yeah.
grants
Yeah.
for the
for the
town hall.
Yeah, yeah, it's been discussed, and, yeah, anything would be,
Yeah, because that's a lot.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But part of it is I've got 5 big garage doors that
Yeah.
probably have an R factor of like 0.1.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
And you open one of them up and.
Oh, I know, I know. I know.
These guys do a lot more than fires, they do trees, they do
Mhm.
flooded roads,
Yeah,
they do
Yep.
pretty much anything anybody
Mm.
needs.
Right, which makes them different from just a
yeah,
fire department. It's not a-
yeah.
yeah.
Fire
Okay.
department's a very broad term for these guys.
Charlotte, it seems like we've lost the town office.
Jeff,
Yeah,
we've lost him, huh?
yeah, I think we've lost the town office. I'm gonna give him a call and see if I can see if we'll make sure they know we're not on with them.
Okay. Well, I might be I noticed that you're there by Zoom as well. Are you on vacation?
Yes, I am. I'm actually out in California.
wow.
Came out for a wedding, so I won't be able to do anything really this week.
It's too bad that because you're hearing it pretty well. you know. So I'll go back on, unmute myself.
Yeah, we'll see, Charlotte. We're in the meeting, so we don't have to do anything. I think it's just up to them to get themselves back into the meeting. But so far, I'm not reaching Donna.
I will try to email Donna to get the information. One of the things, the fire chief is asking for $30,000 more in his budget.
That's right. He has a substantial increase in what he's going to be asking the town for in this year's warrant. And so this was Donna had asked him to come in and give us more detail. He came in a month ago, actually more than a month ago to talk about it, but we asked it for more information, more detail so we can understand just where that increase is going to.
I'm gonna unmute myself again.
Okay. I think they're back.
I don't hear nothing though.
Nope, but I see something coming up there. I see them back.
And
Can
I
you hear
just,
us now?
can you hear us?
We can't hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yep,
like you dropped off.
I just took my computer in this morning and to make sure that he couldn't figure out what, but it just stops in the middle and then restarts, which is why I'd asked you a couple weeks ago to use your computer. It just, I don't know. Anyway, we're back. Be back for the rest of the time. Nothing else was done or said. These people are being very patient. So, all right. So thank you very much. And that was Stacy Hutchinson, Charlotte, who did that presentation. All right, next is roads.
Roads. Shaw's been down here grading. He's got another day or two left. He's gotta go do a private job down here, and then he's got, this road and North End Road. And then he'll be done.
Good.
The culvert on Post Office Road is patched. And hopefully some coal patching gets put down this week, I hope. Depending on schedule.
Jim, just to check, so is Jack grading all the gravel roads, or are there some that won't be graded this year?
There's some that won't be graded this year, Eloise Drive, Backdoor Road, Willis Point Road. I'm planning in July, when we add some gravel, to hit them roads then, Jeff. Willis Point Road, as we know, is very difficult to grade because the road's the lowest part of the land around there.
Yep.
And there's not much material there, and there's trees and there's roots and but yeah, they'll be graded later on in the year. They're not too bad. I might have to address Backdoor Road a little bit in the spot. There's a couple potholes. Eloise Drive's fine.
Somebody on Bay Shore Road asked me what you were gonna do there because they were concerned that they're afraid that if we get a really big rain, that everything could be washed out, all the work that you're doing on there.
I want to put some seed. It should come in with seed, but there's so many weeds down there, it's just hard. I mean, it's very hard to get grass growing there. So we're gonna mulch it and do the best we can.
But the road itself, you've done whatever you needed to do.
Yeah, we graded that, and then that just needs time to pack in before we get a big rain, which the rain the other day actually helped it, because it was light rain. And that's about it till we get down there and do the culverts and the lead work.
Is that what they were talking about?
I think so,
The
yeah.
ditch is the road itself.
It was, they're worried that they won't be able to get out of their driveway eventually.
Oh,
Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to
Okay.
go down there and look again. Yeah, this, I was told this yesterday.
Yeah,
They
I
asked
don't
me about it.
know what I've seen.
She's not done with the road, put it that way.
Yeah, yeah. And that's-
No, as far as
yeah.
I work, no, the
Yeah.
grading's done, but.
Yeah.
If they can't get out of the driveway, I think they get a driveway problem. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take a drive down there too, just to see.
Yeah,
what
I've
the
not
issue
seen
is.
anything, I've seen where. I've really not noticed anything, but I'm not looking at driveways, I'm concentrating on 33 feet wide.
Right, the road itself. Yep. Anything else on roads?
Not at this point.
And just for you all, Jim and the rest of us just talked a little bit ago, we're gonna do a little investigating. The main DOT is looking for applications for a municipal stream crossing program. So, up to $200,000, for replacing culverts that, deal with streams. So we're gonna, Jim just got a copy of the application and we'll look at that as, potential. Anytime we can get some money would be nice. So, so we'll look at that and see what we can, do with that. That's, Squam Creek there comes, creek is a stream, right?
Right,
Yeah.
there. Like I said, the one at the bottom of April's Hill, that might cover, that might.
Yeah,
The rest of them are way out of, you gotta add some zeros on the end,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And streams, when I think of streams, I think of the bottom of April's Hill, the bottom of Gary Weber's Hill, I think of them as streams. Most of the culverts, as I said before, are just drainage,
mhm,
getting the
Right.
water from one side of the road to the other.
right.
So I'd be curious to see what their definition of stream is.
Yeah, and they may have it in the application.
I know there's streams that we've crossed, there's no problem, streams that we've crossed, we've gotten a permit for, streams that we've crossed, that the Army Corps of Engineers says, just do it.
Yeah.
Seasonal water flows, there's all sorts of,
It could be classified differently. It's not a stream if it's only seasonal or
Right.
whatever. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
so. And we're pretty limited with streams on Westport, really, in what I think of a stream.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with
Yeah.
that. So there potentially, but 200,000 in a way sounds like a lot of money, but when you're talking about roads, then no, it doesn't even touch it, but it would help.
Yeah.
So, all right, so anything else on correspondence, Jeff or Lisa?
Are you gonna touch the FEMA one as well? I wanted to comment on FEMA.
Yeah, well, I had printed out and we'd gotten some feedback that FEMA disaster deadline was May 20th, and then we looked on the calendar and realized it was today. So it's almost a moot point. You have until 11:59 to, if you're a resident and you want to put in a claim, it ends tonight. Jeff, you wanted to add to that?
Just last week, Jim provided the estimate for the repair to the paving from the January storms for the West Shore Road and the West Shore Road Heel Cove Heel crossing, Heel Pond crossing. I passed it on to Jason, and he's been because Jason Case has been collecting the information, so we could make an application. And he has one, I guess, logged, so we're not affected by this deadline. We've already made the application. But Jason didn't think he had all the info. So, and I don't know if anyone else has talked or with Jason about it since I've been away.
Has he
I
said
haven't heard anything from him.
No.
Okay. So I think that, and this maybe more Jim, but maybe again with Ashley, just need to have enough of a conversation, see what do we need to do to finalize it so we can submit. And vis-a-vis Ashley, I think we still want to find out, did we get the money from last May, a year ago now, which was approved and we should have actually gotten by now. And I've not seen that money coming in.
I'll ask her tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought Supposedly the check was in the mail a couple weeks ago, but
Mm,
depends if it's coming from Augusta or Washington, I guess.
Yeah, either one's gonna take a while. All right, on to admin items. We had talked about Chris Cooper coming again for our town meeting. And, we checked with other towns and we found out they're paying a lot more than we are. And so what we proposed was, paying him $200 plus his mileage. And, you know, I think he does a great job. If anybody was there a couple months ago, you saw, he takes the beating. And, I think he does a really great job. So, any comments before I make a motion? I'd like to make a motion that we approve payment of $200 plus mileage for Chris Cooper for the town meeting that is June 22nd. Do I have a second?
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that's 3 ayes. All right, second on the admin items is the board talks on Thursdays. We're allowed to talk. We can't make any decisions. But one of the things we talked about was the Spirit of America Award, and that's a yearly award that comes out. And so we talked about and sort of came to agreement about who we'd like to be this year's recipient. But we don't want to say who that person is because we want it to be a surprise. But we have to approve it. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the individual that we had talked about at our Thursday meeting as our choice for the Spirit of America recipient. That's quite a mouthful there. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so you'll know eventually. Okay. And third item on our admin items is approval of a rental agreement for, hang on one second, for the town parking lot rental agreement. We had talked before about the Esquire Tarbox Inn had asked possibly we may need to have extra parking. And so we said, yes, we would charge you for it. And so we have finally the agreement all written up. And so we just need to approve this. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve. This has been talked about quite a few times already. There are several dates. They're over a 3 or 4 month period. Actually, it's from May to October. So it's 8 times within that 5 month period. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the rental agreement for the parking. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Trying to write in.
so that is, yeah, do you want to see this for your notes? I think we have to sign it. Hang on one second. And Lisa, I'm gonna sign that. All right, I think that's it on admin items. Next item on our agenda is assessing. And Jeff, since you're the chair of the Board of Assessors, did you want to lead that discussion?
Sure. Again, to recap, we solicited proposals for the assessing agent role. They were due May 6th. We received only one proposal from Evan Gutkowski. The proposal was significantly more money. And so we discussed with Evan the responsibilities and the timing that it would covered. And in that discussion, agreed that actually Evan's contract really had ended in March 31st for an existing thing. We've continued to pay him, but that was more of a time phasing of his stipend previously. So he's has been getting money right along through next month. But what he agreed was what he could. We agreed that for a period now starting April 1st rather than July 1st through December 31st of this year, we'd be having $15,000. We also are going to be revising using our contract rather than an older contract that expands Evan's responsibilities as assessors agent. So I'd like to move that we proceed for now to approve that. I believe we may have to check. I think we may have to get some approval through the town meetings. May have to be on the town meeting warrant as well. I'm not sure.
I think
Since
so.
I've been away. Yeah, but at least for the we had money in the budget to pay for, additional money to pay for assessing this year, and that should be able to cover it. At least the portion through the end of June. So
So
again,
you-
I'll move this. Do we agree to go forward to engage in this contract with Evan Kukowski?
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Could I piggyback something else on that that's assessing related?
Sure.
Out of our, we've required, every town is required to declare a certified ratio of the value of our properties, our assessed properties, against what the state believes to be our valuation. The state submitted to us their calculation that said that we were only at 73% ratio. We discussed this actually in our workshop on Thursday, and one action item that I took to kind of follow up on that was to then engage with the state main revenue services about how we can get that ratio modified. We can propose a different certified ratio, and I got back a communication for about what we need to do. I talked with that woman more than a week ago about the fact that we had factored up our assessed values, and she agreed that yes, that would allow us to increase the certified ratio to a higher level, though we still probably wouldn't make it to 100%. The clarification I got as of this morning was that what we need to do is kind of recalculate the sales analysis that they sent us, now using the new factored up assessments for properties, and use that as the basis then for the certified ratio. So that's actually an action item that we can now pass on to Evan to take action on.
Yeah, and if we're not high enough, we lose things like the homestead exemption, the tree growth, those kinds of things we lose if we're not high enough. So
The reimbursements from the state for a number of areas like homestead exemption get reduced if you're not at 100%.
yeah.
And that's what we were trying to preserve with our factoring last year.
So factored up 22%, I believe it was.
Mhm.
So everybody's rate went up. All right, so is, yeah, I just remember we have Gary coming Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next on our agenda is preparation for the ordinance workshops. And then we'll go down to other legal business. We have an update on Baker Road and Greenleaf Road. So ordinance workshops, you want to start that, Lisa, since that's you've been working on those ordinances for a
Yeah,
long
so,
year?
yeah, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 6:30, and Thursday night at 6:30, we have a meeting at the town hall. To, I guess, public information, it's listed as a hearing, but it's not technically a hearing. We didn't have to do a hearing for this, but it's really just an opportunity for people to learn about the ordinances that we're proposing, the amendments that we're proposing. You know, as opposed to coming to the town meeting and trying to absorb it all in that morning, which basically is probably impossible. Unless we want to spend the whole day there. So anyway, that's the purpose of these meetings, is just answer questions, present what we're doing, and hopefully get people better informed to make decisions on the 22nd. We should have some paper handouts. I don't want to kill too many trees doing this, but we do have the
John, you worked
I
on
don't think, I think April said she did put them on the website.
I think they are.
Yeah.
She
Um,
did.
yeah.
It's there under news. So
Okay.
if you scroll down a little bit, it's there under news, and she's got links then to a number of documents.
They want, but we will have some hard copies there for people as well. And then also, we want to go over a couple of warrant items that we're.
Potential items.
Potential items, yes, that we're talking about as well at this meeting. So we have a lot to go over. The work that's needed on the town hall, work that's needed at Wright Landing, and the roads, Jim's wish list for the roads for this year. So yeah, lots of information that will hopefully help people make good decisions.
Yeah, we
Come the
basically wanted
22nd.
to share, you know, for example, the town hall has several projects that are gonna cost money, and trying to get input from the town just to say, you know, these are pretty important, and to help us even think through, you know, what's gonna have to happen. So what goes on a warrant item? We haven't decided that yet, but we want input. So, John, did you have anything to add, since I know you did those little mini write-ups, which help a lot to sort of clarify,
Explain.
instead of reading the entire LD 2003, condensed it. So anything to add to?
No, looking forward to it. The goal is to get as much information out in the community as possible, so folks
Exactly.
can start thinking about it before the 22nd. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. No idea what kind of turnout we'll get. But
I don't
it'll be a start. And
We offer this to
Right.
people, and, you know, again, we've tried to be as transparent
Will
as
be,
possible and open.
Zooming it as well,
Yes, we will be Zooming it, so
so
you can't make it,
watch in the comfort of your living room if you
So
like.
tape two, and people
Yep.
can watch
Yes.
it later.
Yeah.
Right,
Great.
right, so.
and it'll, you know, be nice to say, oh, it'll be the same presentation Tuesday and Thursday, but depending who's there, it could be a very different presentation.
Right, right.
As you know,
We-
yeah,
We anticipate representatives from Emily's office,
Mhm.
at least one will be there to talk about LD 2003.
good.
And I'll follow your lead on what the extent to which, if any of you want me to participate, I'm happy to.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be opportunities to answer
Okay,
questions along the way.
I'll be there,
Yeah,
so.
I'm just gonna sort of guide the traffic, that's all.
And I think I think the most important thing that needs to be said about that is that it's not Westport's ordinance. You know, Westport has created its own ordinance based on the law, the new law, and I don't know that everybody understands that it's not like something we just made up. Yeah, oh yeah, we think this is a nice idea.
Yeah,
Jeff, anything to add to the plan for tomorrow and Thursday?
No, just that we do plan to have it available via Zoom, though the Zoom is not yet posted
Yep.
on the
We'll
website.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So that, because I, for example, won't be there tomorrow, but I hope to be able to attend via Zoom.
Yep. We better not use my computer, that's for sure. All right, need to get a new one. All right, let's go on to other legal business, and I'm just gonna do a real quick update on the Greenleaf Road, even though we don't have somebody here asking me. There is a trailer at the site now, and Chris Wormwood is putting, his metal in it. He's actually, gotten, this is a friend of his or that is just loaning him the trailer. And I actually was there today taking pictures again, and it's getting pretty full. And he did say that he could, keep filling it and getting rid of it and coming back. So I think one of the challenges is that he's got so much, you know, like I was there last Sunday and took pictures and we talked about where he wanted to put his 3 sheds. He's got the permits, but he can't put the 3 sheds there because there's a lot of stuff there. So he's got to move the stuff, but it feels like it's just moving it back and forth. So finally, we have a trailer that's actually gonna haul some of that stuff away. And I believe it's Saturday or Sunday. There are 2 vehicles that'll finally be able to move off the site as well. And I didn't realize that they're actually, you know, you can't just say, I want to get rid of my car and get rid of it. You actually, because, you know, it's followed, you know, that ownership of that vehicle. So he had to work through some of that, and but he has done that. And so there are two vehicles that will be moved from that front yard, hopefully in the next week or so. So we're making progress. And one of the things I've noticed is his wife has a lovely, lovely garden. Had bright red tulips all over, and it's like, you should be embarrassed that, you know, you can't highlight your wife's garden. So we're talking from that perspective, as well as legally, he's doing some damage potentially with machines that could leak and whatnot. And that's really what we're focusing on. But we did talk about trying to make it a really nice place, because there's a lot of potential there. So I keep going and talking to him every week, and we're making slow progress. So so the other update is Baker Road. Jeff?
Yeah, and Jim, we did follow through and inquire with the attorneys about the concern of being on the abutter's property, on the Greenleaf property, in order to do the positioning of the monuments. And the answer we got back was basically we'd have to get permission. We should be getting permission to access the property. We think that's unlikely that we would get permission. And for that reason, I think that we should probably change the plan. We still plan to. So go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
There's been some more shucking and jiving down there, and it don't look too bad, and the street sign's back up.
Magic.
And Jack was in there today and graded, and he said that he made it as kind of wide as he could up do that. So you may want to assess that, Jeff, when you get back, and see where we go from here, and we can devise a plan from there. I agree, I don't really want to do offsets, but if that's what we gotta do, maybe that's what we gotta do, I don't know.
Well, if we did, and this is where we might need to readdress just the technique. If we did the more standard type of monument, you know, drilling something that's more directly, you know, straight down, I don't know how much ground space you need to have to set up to do the drilling. But if we can drill right on the line, or as close to it as possible.
Yeah, it ain't the drilling, Jeff, it's digging the hole to get down to the ledge. That to get to the ledge to drill the hole, that's the problem. That's what would have to be over on him.
Maybe let's take this back and have a conversation with Carl about Carl Olson, the surveyor, about how to do it. What we also, though, I think we want to do, and maybe I'll make it, this is a formal motion, that we proceed with purchasing a camera that would enable us to monitor the monuments on the road. So this is again focusing on the road, so that if there was any disturbance of those monuments, we would have that captured. I mean, the camera would need to be uploading the videos to the web, into the cloud, so to speak, so we'd have it available to us. So if there was any damaging, we would have proof of that. So that's, before we install any monuments, we wanted to have cameras. So I'd like to move that we proceed with buying one or more cameras. And I'm not sure the cost, so out of the air, I'll just say maybe $250 for something that has a cell tower capable camera
I'd rather
that can
not put a
upload to the
price
web.
I would just like to move that we,
Yeah.
get some cameras
That's-
without putting a price limit on it. Yeah.
Okay, just saying it won't be that bad.
Right, right, yeah, yeah.
So I'll move that we go ahead and buy and procure the camera so we're ready. And
And then we have to
Is there
figure
a
out
second?
where we're gonna put them.
I'll
Yes,
I'll
okay.
second it.
All in
Great.
favor?
Aye.
aye. And then subsequent to that, Jim, I think we want to talk with Carl and just discuss just how to do this most expeditiously. But maybe not, but not as extensively as we talked about last Monday.
Thinking
Um,
was, when we got his proposal, Carl Olson's proposal, was, well, when we found out that we need to get permission, because to put those sonotubes in was a lot of digging, right? And we definitely would have to be stepping on his property to do that. So we thought that if there was a way that Carl was talking about with just drilling down, we were thinking that the rebar, an inch rebar, and we were gonna set it in cement under the ground so that he couldn't pull them out, but then he can just go and cut them. So then why are we gonna spend all this money installing these things in a way that they can't be pulled out and we can just cut them down? So then we said, if we have a camera and we put them up the least expensive way, all it is we need a visual
Mhm.
to show where the boundary is, because right now, you know, the lawyers don't know, the cops don't know, nobody
He
knows.
uses his road, but
Yeah, well, that,
changes.
that was, so anyway, so that was the thinking, is to try to do it less expensively with the cameras, so this would be messes with them.
And it doesn't make
That way we
sense to
have
put
it.
anything without putting the cameras first, because
Right.
if we don't
If
have
you
cameras,
didn't
then,
cut the rebar off, you would have that cement just under the
Right.
surface, you'd be able to find it with a metal detector, that was the advantage of pouring the cement. And pinning it to the ledge, cause his little green machine there ain't gonna mess with that.
all right,
Anything above ground, he'd find a way and it would be gone.
but this way you couldn't pull them out.
Right, you
Because
wouldn't
then
be
it'd be gone.
able to pull it out, and if he was gonna take it out, he'd have quite a bit of digging to do,
Mhm.
and I don't think his green toy tractor there
Yeah,
would succumb to the concrete and the rebar.
And there would be the holes left of where I would hope if. you had
Yeah,
enough
no matter
concrete.
what, cause, you know, we
Yep.
talked about,
Driving 6-inch skate, like,
well,
there you go. That's
but now we have to go back to the drawing board, because we
yeah,
have to
so we
see
went,
about
you know,
the
we had talked about
offset.
offsets.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the offset with the sort of lesser way of installing, yeah?
I don't know, that's something we
Yeah,
can discuss,
right,
because,
right.
you know, if we could just get 100 feet of that fence, that wall, it's all we need. The Great Wall of Westport, right there, something that can't be moved.
Get ready to read to come down, another coffer dam wall.
Something,
And we
We
could
talked
put
about a
mural on it.
guardrail at one time,
yeah,
and,
yeah, you know, if
yeah.
there wasn't ledge
The
right
ledge.
there, I'd say guardrail, no.
Right, but,
My thought of rocks, of course, you don't want big rocks next to the road because of cars and whatnot. but
he's already got big
something
rocks.
that his little green toy won't disturb.
Yep,
I got some rocks and I'm putting between me and him here eventually that he ain't gonna move.
Yep.
But I'm waiting, cause I know once this is resolved, it's gonna be my turn again.
yes, because he's gotta do something.
You know, when it comes around the new moon and that's resolved. I've played this game for too many years.
Yep. All right, any other information, questions, comments? If not, then I'd like to make a motion that, yes, sir.
It's starting to go out, I don't know if you heard, barbecue's back on.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've heard. I was at that meeting.
July 20th.
All right, July 20th.
Yeah.
Barbecue. Yeah, actually, April put it in her posting. She
Yeah.
called it a community fair is
Yeah,
what we
it's the
remember. we
Westport
called
Island Community Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, come on. It's
Yep.
gonna be a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Food,
barbecue, artists,
Yeah.
crafts
Nice.
people,
That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
yeah, an all-day sort of
This is the
event.
fire department beneficiary of this.
It's meant just to get people together. If people do wanna donate, that's fine. We're gonna split the money between WCA and fire department, just to kind of cover any costs, but the idea is just get people to come back together.
Yeah, we had a joint meeting, a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure we're gonna have some more, but
Yeah.
yeah, we
That's so
just
nice.
said, we're,
Happy to
you
hear
know, we're
that,
gonna take out from the contributions we get to pay for the
Sure.
items, and then if there's anything left, then we'll split it.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'm gonna watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
so, yeah, she did post that, in her update, so.
glad
that's
it's back
great.
on regardless of the beneficiary is. 'cause
Yeah.
It's just.
And actually,
get people together.
Yeah, and I know that somebody from WCA was starting to talk to some of the artists and the craftspeople that have done things for years here. And I had just talked to one that same day, and she said, I really liked having doing the artwork and like, like the quilts and those kind of things, but she said it was just too much work. And I said, would you like to do it if you weren't having to do all the work? And she said, yeah, so I know that, it's WCA and the fire department that'll work on that together, but, and hopefully anybody else who wants to join and do some work on that.
Don't
So,
tank, Stacy.
No.
Come on, he always does it so well.
Yeah.
all right, so as I started to say, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn tonight. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Well,
right.
Can you have
Jeff,
Jeff to stay on?
Jeff, can you stay on just a minute? I won't, but this is, let me turn off recording, hang on. I forgot it.